Here's the stat for the day. Just remember this. 2 rats can become 15,000 in 1 year.
Wow.
So with this product, you can, by limiting the population, you can really reduce the economic losses.
So what's the opportunity here for investors?
Well, I think that there's many opportunities here, and the inflection points, there's many inflection points because now we have a product that is able to be used throughout distribution and retail and international distribution. So that's the number one. We were able to get an order from New York City in December that we'll be shipping out to them in April. New York City, we recently got an order from Baltimore. We're starting to see some penetration into the municipal, the city, the governmental market. We have some really big pilot projects that are going on in some of the agricultural areas, poultry production, egg production, sugarcane and other row crop production, as well as grain management. We're able to get onto Amazon, and so you can buy our products on Amazon, Evolve Mouse, SNES, go there. We were able to get onto Walmart.com 60 days ago, roughly.
Oh, really?
Yes. So on Walmart.com, and just last week we were on TractorSupply.com, which is key for us in that ag sector. We think that will then lead into being able to get into the brick and mortar portion of that with Tractor Supply and Walmart. So we think long term that the retail part of that is going to be a big channel for us. This is now a global product. We have 10 exclusive distributors that are around the globe, places like Hong Kong and Singapore and the Netherlands. And we're starting to get orders there, and we're in discussions with about another 20 different international.
What are you most excited about? What's going to be your inflection here in the year 2025?
I'm excited about our international opportunities because we did a lot of legwork in 2024, getting the distributors set up, getting the product approved in those countries. I think we're going to continue to really grow our e-commerce business, being on all of the major e-tailers.
All right. I think this is a stock you own for the long term, and you can trade throughout the year, buy the dips and sell the rips lightly. Okay. I have a 14% position right now. It's my largest position in my trade account. I think you could imminently go to 31 to 33 today.
It's the motherfucking Eagle Double G. Snoop Dogg. You know what happened with the D.R.E.
So it's possible we overshoot today. Okay, now I'm only talking about if this is a correction in the bull market. If the net aggregate opinion of all investors lean more bullish towards Trump than bearish, this is the scenario I'm talking about, right? Then you can overshoot that 200 DMA intraday. It's just important where you close. So it's possible you get an overshoot of the 200 DMA either this morning or tomorrow morning. 486 is exactly a 10% correction from the high. Okay, which would be a correction in the bull market, 486. So all of these are possibilities for today, like the mid 480s as an overshoot of the strong supports of 491 to 492, and then we're off to the races. Either way, I'm leaning towards that the bottom is going to be in either this morning or tomorrow morning. All right, at a level of between 480, 546 intraday to a closing level of 491 to 492, based on all the levels we're talking about. Now, that is all simply a correction in a bull market.
It's the motherfucking Eagle Double G. Snoop Dogg. You know what happened with the D.R.E.
Here's the stat for the day. Just remember this. 2 rats can become 15,000 in 1 year.
Wow.
So with this product, you can, by limiting the population, you can really reduce the economic losses.
what's the opportunity here for investors?
Well, I think that there's many opportunities here, and the inflection points, there's many inflection points because now we have a product that is able to be used throughout distribution and retail and international distribution. So that's the number one. We were able to get an order from New York City in December that we'll be shipping out to them in April. New York City, we recently got an order from Baltimore. We're starting to see some penetration into the municipal, the city, the governmental market. We have some really big pilot projects that are going on in some of the agricultural areas, poultry production, egg production, sugarcane and other row crop production, as well as grain management. We're able to get onto Amazon. And so you can buy our products on Amazon, Evolve Mouse, SNES Tech, go there. We were able to get onto Walmart.com 60 days ago, roughly.
Oh, really?
Yes. So on Walmart.com, and just last week we were on TractorSupply.com, which is key for us in that ag sector. We think that will then lead into being able to get into the brick and mortar portion of that with Tractor Supply and Walmart. So we think long term that the retail part of that is going to be a big channel for us. This is now a global product. We have 10 exclusive distributors that are around the globe, places like Hong Kong and Singapore and the Netherlands. And we're starting to get orders there, and we're in discussions with about another 20 different international distributors.
What are you most excited about? What's going to be your inflection here in the year 2025?
I'm excited about our international opportunities because we did a lot of legwork in 2024, getting the distributor set up, getting the product approved in those countries. I think we're going to continue to really grow our e-commerce business, being on all of the major e-tailers.
All right, let's do a macro review. Starting with IWM, you might look at this chart and be like, wow, great, the pain's over. IWM hit the 200 DMA, let's go. But the RSI is not as over. Look at this, the bottom blue. I can't highlight it, can I? The RSI, there it is not as oversold as it was on the previous drops, which means it could get more oversold and we could break below this 200 DMA. Not only that, but QQQ and SPY, all right, even more precarious because they didn't get to the 200 DMA yet, well above the 200 DMA, didn't get to the 50 DMA yet, and the RSI likewise is not oversold yet. Okay, SPY, wow, SPY's a little healthier. Could that 50 DMA hold? Doesn't always hold though. See that it has not been a great predictor, that 50 DMA. We can dip below the 50 DMA without being the end of the world on SPY. But from market psychology perspective, with the Microsoft news over the weekend, I mentioned this in the last video, NVIDIA earnings Wednesday, we'll call that a risk event Wednesday. I think that's bad news for QQQ. And 50 DMAs here at 523, man. I gotta say, I think 510 is very much in play here early tomorrow, and potentially all the way down to 500. I don't know. That's how it feels like to me. It feels like, I don't know, I felt it with IWM. That was correction time. You saw me take the hedge on IWM, which worked out brilliantly. But that's what I'm seeing here. So forget about IWM being at the 200 DMA. Focus on this QQQ, Microsoft, NVIDIA dynamic, and this RSI here, which can cause QQQ to make a move to 500 to 510 before or after the NVIDIA news if it's bad. All right, I feel like we'll have more weakness into the report and a potential bounce after that. But for right now, I'm kind of still bearish. All right, we got that bounce off too. That was beautiful, man. If you were, I was like half asleep on Friday. And if I was in the office, we would have made a ton of money on this because I had high conviction about that 217.50 IWM target.
came fast. Can you believe it? I was saying, hey, by Monday, and we got it the same day. That's crazy. Man, those put options I was in early in the day were up like 500-600%. But I didn't hold the whole way, sadly. And my size was not big, sadly. Best I could do, I was half asleep with the flu. But in any case, I'm not very positive on the macro right now for early in the week. I think, and by the way, another reason I'm not so positive is because if you look at individual charts, like Hood breaking below the 20 DMA, like HIMS, let's go to HIMS, okay, which adds more room to the 20 DMA, and take note of the RSIs, okay, maybe even like Axon. I know Axon I'm itching to get in. But even looking at Axon, well, no, Axon's pretty oversold. I'm not sure about getting to the 200 DMA on Axon 445. I mean, that's a gift if that happens, 476 gap or so. But there's a lot of charts, a lot of broken charts, which violated key moving averages with RSIs that are not as oversold as in recent previous drops. And that tells me the odds of QQQ taking a further leg down before NVIDIA is very high. Very high risk. That's my view on the macro.
It's the motherfucking Eagle Double G. Snoop Dogg. You know I'm mobbing with the D.R.E.
So it's possible we overshoot today. Okay, now I'm only talking about if this is a correction in the bull market. If the net aggregate opinion of all investors lean more bullish towards Trump than bearish. This is the scenario I'm talking about, right? Then you can overshoot that 200 DMA intraday. It's just important where you close. So it's possible you get an overshoot of the 200 DMA either this morning or tomorrow morning. 486 is exactly a 10% correction from the high, okay? Which would be a correction in the bull market, 486. So all of these are possibilities for today. Like the mid 480s as an overshoot of the strong supports of 491 to 492, and then we're off to the races. Either way, I'm leaning towards that the bottom is going to be in either this morning or tomorrow morning. All right, at a level of between 480, 546 intraday to a closing level of 491 to 492, based on all these levels we're talking about. Now, that is all simply a correction in a bull market.
It's the motherfucking Eagle Double G. Snoop Dogg. You know I'm mobbing with the D.R.E.
Here's the stat for the day. Just remember this. 2 rats can become 15,000 in 1 year.
Wow.
So with this product, you can, by limiting the population, you can really reduce the economic losses.
What's the opportunity here for investors?
Well, I think that there's many opportunities here, and the inflection points, there's many inflection points because now we have a product that is able to be used throughout distribution in retail and international distribution. So that's the number one. We were able to get an order from New York City in December that we'll be shipping out to them in April. New York City, we recently got an order from Baltimore. We're starting to see some penetration into the municipal, the city, the governmental market. We have some really big pilot projects that are going on in some of the agricultural areas, poultry production, egg production, sugar cane and other row crop production, as well as grain management. We're able to get onto Amazon, and so you can buy our products on Amazon, Evolve Mouse, SNES, go there. We were able to get onto Walmart.com 60 days ago, roughly.
Oh, really?
Yes. So on Walmart.com, and just last week we were on TractorSupply.com, which is key for us in that ag sector. We think that will then lead into being able to get into the brick and mortar portion of that with Tractor Supply and Walmart. So we think long term that the retail part of that is going to be be a big channel for it. That this is now a global product. We have 10 exclusive distributors that are around the globe, places like Hong Kong and Singapore and the Netherlands. And we're starting to get orders there, and we're in discussions with about another 20 different international.
What are you most excited about? What's going to be your inflection here in the year 2025?
I'm excited about our international opportunities because we did a lot of legwork in 2024, getting the distributor set up, getting the product approved in those countries. I think we're going to continue to really grow our e-commerce business, being on all of the major e-tailers.
Welcome everyone to the Story Trading Morning Show pre-market prep. It is Wednesday. No, it's Thursday, right? Is it Wednesday or Thursday? I don't even know anymore. Thursday.
Today's Thursday, Ben.
Thursday, March 13th, guys. Thursday, March 13th. We've been navigating this down market with you over the last few weeks and did pretty well until, man, I called every tick in this market. Look, I'm still up some 85, 86% year to date. I was up 100% year to date until as recently as Friday, but I got the last few days wrong. All right. We avoided this whole downturn, most of it. If you're in our Discord, had the right analysis and really went risk off during this downturn in all the indices and SPY, QQQ, IWM. So we called that pretty well, but I was expecting a bottom here, at least a short-term bounceable, buyable bottom at the 200 DMA on SPY, and it hasn't quite worked out. That being said, I was expecting a pop on CPI yesterday, which did happen, but even that was very hard to trade. So it's been difficult here the last few days to make some money through this chop. Overall, you can't be 100% accurate. We'll take 90% accuracy for this year. So we're doing pretty well. Right now, where things stand is obviously there's still more uncertainty in the market. PPI came in light and honestly really surprised at the muted reaction. So that's a little bit, a little bit concerning. We had light CPI yesterday, light PPI, and the market doesn't care. Really kind of weird. I got to say, I have my own kind of macro thesis going on, which is not widely being shared out there. Because I think I'm going to be right about this. Okay. I think all this tariff stuff is just noise. I do not think it's material compared to what's happening with Doge. I think the larger impact by far, by an order of magnitude on the economy, is going to be the cost cutting that is happening in the government. I think that's going to impact markets in a much, much, much more significant way. And it could be a good or bad thing. All right. I mean, you're taking several percentage points of GDP out of the public sector and trying to rotate that into the private sector. That could spark a recession. It has deflationary effects. I think the deflationary effects of Doge are going to be more impactful than the inflationary effect of tariffs. And I believe we're already seeing that in the data. All right. I believe the chilling effect of cost cuts in the government, in the federal government, not only having a localized effect in DC, but across the whole nation. Rhett, you give the example of in Florida, several people losing their jobs, and it was why don't you tell that story? Because it's interesting. I think it was only one job cut that was directly federal, but then there was an indirect, right? A few other people indirectly who lost their jobs, and that's in Florida, not in DC. So
yeah. So that's going to be happening here in Florida. So there was I was talking to my girlfriend, and one of her friends actually works like at a marine discovery center. So they get grants, and apparently they're losing all their grants and funding. So all those people that are working there will be losing their jobs, more than likely, they said, in the next couple weeks.
Okay, so there is not just the job cuts in DC; it's grants and funding throughout the whole country, and it's not even directly just those people who have the jobs, but it's the the support around it and the people, the small businesses who serve those people who have jobs in different areas. This is a massive impact, and I think it's already being felt. People say tariffs are more immediate; they're happening now. Government job cuts, that'll take a long time to impact. No, man, I think you're seeing weakened consumer demand already because of the job cuts, the government cuts, the expectation of more job cuts and government cuts, the chilling effect that has on consumer sentiment and demand, people saving their money, not traveling as much. United already saying there's a 50% decrease in government travel already. 50% decrease in government travel. You see DC real estate crashing. This is a major, massive effect on the economy, orders of magnitude, I believe, higher than the impact of tariffs. And I think it's a story that's being missed. And I'm going to be on the record talking about this almost every day, because when I'm right, I want you guys to remember me. Okay. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, you know what? It's gonna be hard to play. It means I'm bullish TLT, but it's been tough the last few days trying to hedge with TLT. I think bonds are going to go up because I think inflation is going to come down. It's going to make the Fed's job easier to cut rates. All right. So the Fed's job easier to cut rates. Bonds should go up. Rates should come down. Okay. That's what it means, in my opinion. And I think you're already seeing it in the CPI number. If you look at trueflation.com, you're seeing actually the real-time inflation gauge is down to 1.5%. All right. So it's a good thing and a bad thing. The bad thing is you can actually have a severe recession. You can even actually have a depression. If Elon Musk actually can cut 1 trillion, he probably can't. All right. But, a few hundred billion, let's say, whatever it is, right? You cut that much and you don't balance it out with anything else, you can have a severe recession. So I hope the Fed is going to be on the ball here and that they're going to see the early signs of this and cut rates sooner rather than later. That's my take on it. I'm not worried about tariffs. I think it's noise. I think there's a big recessionary risk because of the government cuts, but at the same time, it's going to make the Fed's job easier. So like sometime this year, I think TLT is going to explode as these numbers come in and the light CPI numbers come in. So I'm on the record. All right. I'm getting out on the record. Few people are talking about this, and I think I have the story right on this one. All right. So that's my macro analysis, but where does it leave us for trading? Look, I think hopefully, I said there's two ways to get out of this oversold condition. Either you have a big short squeeze to the 200 DMA, where I would take money off the table, whether it's the QQQ or the SPY. You get a big short squeeze, or you chop around, you consolidate, you allow that RSI to come up to like the 40 level, 41 level, something like that. And then that can set you up for another failure. All right. Without having that big squeeze to the 200 DMA, just through chopping consolidation. Those are the two ways you get out of this oversold condition. But it does look like we're out of the woods for any further immediate crash right now. So I think the best case scenario is you get a squeeze up to the 200 DMA, which I was kind of expecting yesterday and we didn't get it. So that's why yesterday was a little difficult for me trading. I thought we'd gap and go. We didn't. So I kind of misplayed that in my trading account yesterday. So, either we get that squeeze, which we didn't, or we consolidate. But I don't see right now an opportunity, because we're so oversold, to have another big leg down like right now. Okay. Like this week. I think we're kind of in a little bit of a safe zone here. What we do best, okay, which is stock picking based on individual catalysts. You need a stable environment to do that. When the market was crashing over the last few weeks, that makes our job very hard. All right. Because even if you have a good catalyst, the stock does not react how you think it's going to react. Even if you have an earnings play, a fundamental re-rating, like here, CRDO had great earnings. They beat, they raised, beautiful earnings report, but it was at the bad time when everyone is liquidating and raising money. So it's very hard to do our job when you're in this like market-wide liquidation event going on. Actually, that's beautiful. Try to kind of move that up again. CRDO was a top pick yesterday. Let me move that up. Okay. Wow. Beautiful yesterday. Did exactly what we predicted. In any case, I think we have a window of opportunity here to, for most of the last 2 weeks, I haven't had many top picks, right? So I kind of felt that and guided people the right way to kind of stay away. But now let's see. I'm going to have a few top picks today. I think we have enough stability that we can have a few top picks. First, earnings reports out here that we're looking at. DocuSign after the close. Ecore's last night. I was not too impressed by Electrocore earnings report. I'm not going to be playing DocuSign ahead of time, but we'll be looking at the earnings report right after. Build-A-Bear Workshop, BBW. I'm going to stay away from this. They sometimes have very explosive reactions to their earnings reports. They did beat on the top and bottom, but their guidance to me didn't look great because there's some EPS issues there in terms of tariff and economic and macro uncertainty and things like that. And the revenue growth didn't seem too impressive for me, so I decided to stay away from Build-A-Bear Workshop after the ER this morning. And then, of course, we have SNES Tech that had the earnings last night. We'll talk about that in just a second. And then at 10 a.m., we're interviewing the CEO of SNES Tech. So stick around for that. Okay, so let's go to our top list here. So all of these stocks, Intel, ACHR, Air, SNES Tech, MOS, Mosaic, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all of these have individual catalysts today, which could help it to buck the market trend. All right. Beyond that, down below, not too many strong individual catalysts at this point. Man, we called the bottom in Tesla there on that Trump endorsement. Made some money on TSL calls, was not enough to offset some of my other misadventures. I think you did well on those TSL calls, right, Rhett?
Oh yeah, I did do pretty well. Speaking of Trump right now, do you see the latest news that just came out?
Like
I think you're talking, so you didn't see it.
What is it?
Just came out saying 7 or 8 minutes ago, Trump family has been in talks for a stake in crypto exchange Binance. So DJT is catching a bid right now this morning.
Yeah, it says Trump family. Does it say it's through DJT or just Trump family?
I think it was Trump family representatives or something.
Okay. There's been a lot of chatter about DJT doing something with crypto. As you know, there's been some public chatter, some private chatter I've been hearing. So, all right, that's interesting. Probably not going to play it, to be honest with you. I like these other catalysts better, but let's throw it up there so we can keep an eye on it. So, DJT. All right. IonQ short report just came out, posted in our news channel in our Discord. Thank you, Danny Money. So you can take a look at that. Lots of great collaboration that happens in our Discord. Great, you have the link down there, storytraining.com/Discord. So as far as individual catalysts go, first of all, you got to acknowledge what's going on here with Intel. This is one of the most powerful catalysts you can have in the stock market is a new CEO after a long period of underperformance. It's one of the most powerful catalysts. That's why you're seeing this plus 13% on Intel, 2343. It's very hard to quantify this. How much is this worth? It's a beautiful chart, though. Looks like a big cup trying to form a cup breakout. But you can look at the technicals and kind of say that, the pop will have an underlying bid. It's not going to give this all back, right? This is not going to be a pop and then a fade all the way to down 0%. Not going to give. This is a major fundamental change. Okay, well, you can think of it as sentiment or fundamentals in this case. All right, I guess more accurately sentiment. That's a major sentimental change here in terms of what a new CEO can do. Intel's been underperforming for many years, and this is a very powerful catalyst. Let's look at the technicals here, all the way up to the 200 DMA at 2398, 20 DMAs at 2293. Let's see if there's any other significant candle resistance there. Oh, wow, this was a significant candle resistance area. It broke through it at about 2260. So look, I'm not going to chase this right now. I did play it last night for a few $100, at like 23 and sold it at 2330, something like that. Now it's 2340. So I'll keep this on the radar for maybe buy the dip scenarios on Intel today. 200 DMA, again, you got that resistance at 2398. Recently, you were as high as 20. If the market conditions were better, I would have stayed in this trade overnight. And if the market conditions were better, I would probably definitely say we're going to hit $24 today, $23.97. And then I'd see how it reacts to see if we can break it and make a move to 25. Like, that's how powerful this catalyst is. New CEO after a long period of underperformance. But market conditions suck. So it's hard for me to have great conviction on this. So it's just something I'm going to watch. and maybe if there are dips to key support levels during the day. There's a support level right there, 2290. Of course, you got 2230. Maybe that's something I'd take a shot at. Okay. So that's Intel story. ACHR just coming out with some Palantir news. ACHR partners of Palantir to use AI and next generation aviation technology after a long drawdown with the market. You get some Palantir news. I'll take that. I took that trade. Got an alert from the Discord in our news channel. I jumped on it right away at like 760. We're at 770 now. Let's look at the technicals here. It's pretty choppy up here. Maybe 798. You got some resistance at 798. Look, I was hoping let's go back and look at the macro, because a stock like ACHR will be heavily influenced by QQQ et al. Okay. Is it still on the table? This is a question. Is there still a possibility we have a multi-day rally to the 200 DMA? I have to say it's possible, simply because the RSI is still oversold, but I just didn't love the price action yesterday. It was not panicky enough, right? And speaking of it wasn't panicky enough to the upside, we also haven't had a panicky enough drop to the downside, otherwise known as capitulation. This is something that Godfather has pointed out in our Discord, and I agree with him on, is we haven't seen that yet. You can quantitatively, try to measure that by looking at the VIX. I kind of look at that just based on price action, and if we're like gapping down and you see like no bid support, and you gap down below huge supports and massive volume, like I look at that to recognize capitulation rather than quantitatively looking at the VIX. And I haven't seen that type of price action yet over the last few weeks. It's just been slow and steady, drip, 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 and maybe that's the reason we didn't see that panic buying, is because we didn't have the shorts, capitulating to the downside. So where are you going to get the panic short covering if they weren't positioned, too heavily short to the downside through via the capitulation? So it's a little bit concerning here. But I have to say, just looking at the RSI and the first green candle, that's not the first green candle, we got two. There's a possibility that we grind up in a very choppy fashion towards the 200 DMA, but it's really hard to make that prediction. Anyway, why did I bring that up when I was talking mid ACHR? Because if you want ACHR to make a move towards 8 to 850 at the 200 DMA, I think you're going to need the QQQ to cooperate a little bit. Look at Intel, keep on going, up 14% now. Wow. Yeah, now I wish I kept my $23 shares last night. In any case, that's ACHR possibility of outperformance on that Palantir news. AEHR, a company I'm very, very intimately familiar with for many, many, many years. I made a ton of money on this stock in the past, and also avoided almost all of the downturns. So I feel like I know this company pretty well. AHR out with news this morning, $4.7 million in new orders for AI data center storage testing equipment within this PR. Oh, let me get the full, come on, Weeble. I got to go to Yahoo Finance. Weeble sometimes doesn't give me the full press release. Come on. All right. So I did like this PR, and I added the 894. So let me just pull this up. A few items in this PR that I liked.
What price you got that?
894. Okay, and I got a pretty big position, 7% allocation in my trading account on this. Okay, so the 4.7 million order from a major storage device supplier. That's always good that it's major, right? It will be used for 100% test and burn-in of production devices, so that's good. In a new high-volume advanced storage application for the artificial intelligence enterprise and data center market. All the good things you want to hear, right? It's for production, not for testing. It's AI. It's high volume. It's a major storage device supplier. All right. You like to hear all that stuff. Also, look at this. This lead customer who first engaged with us in 2019. Where is the word I'm looking for? No, I'm looking for, here we go. In addition to these orders, the customer has indicated plans to purchase additional Fox CP production systems in our fiscal 2025 fourth quarter, positioning them as a potential 10% revenue contributor for Air going forward. All right. So data storage, AI. If the market conditions were better, I think the stock would already be 950 in pre-market. And I'm going to stick with that target for today. 950. The high. This chart looks exactly like ACR chart too. So I guess that commentary. It's just I have more conviction in AEHR because I understand the story better and I understand which catalysts are more impactful to the company more than I do there with ACHR. This chart is exactly the same as ACHR. That's crazy. But in any case, 950 to 990 is the target on AEHR, and I'm sticking with it. 950, despite the poor pre-market action right now, and despite the poor reaction to light CPI, I'm sticking with AEHR today, 894 entry with a 950 to 990 target. All right. Look at that. Same exact chart as ACHR. Wow. All right. So, take this with a grain of salt. You got to maybe monitor QQQ as well for these trade ideas, both of these. All right. Man, I wish I kept my Intel $23 shares. Okay. So ACHR, AEHR, both going to be in the top 5 today. And now let's go to SNES Tech. So SNES Tech, as you may or may not know, is a sponsor of the story trading community. They help us keep the lights on, full disclosure. Despite that, I did decide to buy this. I own this kind of long term. I mean, it's been in my trading account, but I've been holding it since that first interview I did with SNES Tech. I actually bought it live on air while he was speaking because I was pretty impressed with the story. They have earnings last night. And you see this big gap here is because they did. There was some dilution through warrants that were induced at $2.90. So they raised money at $2.90. Stock dropped. Well, why did it drop? Because they had to give out to induce that warrant holder to pay them at $2.90. They gave them more warrants at $2.90. So that's additional future dilution when those warrant holders exercise at $2.90 in the future. So you got a drop in the stock price there. Now you had earnings last night, which were pretty impressive. I have to say, I believe. Let me pull up the press release on SNES Tech, SNES. So it was a very good conference call. Let me just read some highlights to you here. And I have some great follow-up questions for the CEO, Joel Fruent, at 10 a.m. here today on this show. Some great follow-up questions. So you want to stay tuned for that. But quarterly revenue increased 70%. The thing that was really beautiful here is that through cost cutting, they've brought down their break even to a little over $1.5 million in sales per quarter. That's all they need to get to cash flow break even is $1.5 million in sales per quarter, which means they only need to increase their revenue by $1 million a quarter. So I want to dig into that. I want to see how close they are. Now, they didn't give official guidance last night, but I'm going to press them on this 10 a.m. interview if we can get some clues as to how the rollouts are going, because they have a lot of stuff going on recently. All right. They're all of a sudden all these big box retailers. They have a lot of things going on now. They added another city that seems to be testing in addition to New York City and Baltimore. Now it's Chicago. So I'm going to try to dig into this at 10 a.m. to figure out how close are they? What are the chances this year that they get to that magic number of 1.5 million in revenue and their cash flow break even? Because once they are, look at this market cap. Well, it's a little bit higher now because of the warrants that were induced and a little bit of an ATM they did last month. So maybe the market cap's maybe 3.5 million or something like that right now. But compared to the total addressable market and their product positioning, they have no competition, great reviews. If they turn the corner this year, if they inflect this year without significant additional dilution, if they're able to get to cash flow profitability within the next 3 to 4 quarters, I think this is a stock that can double, triple, quadruple this year. So it's a very interesting story. So stay tuned for the 10 a.m. interview. In the meantime, I will say a very clear range here. It's trading in pre-market 250, a ton of support at 250. You got some resistance at, it hit 333 with some volume. You'd have technical resistance up here at 3 to 310. And like this would be beautiful trade if it trades in a range of 250 to 3 with high volume. That'll be fun today. Like, okay, I know people in our Discord already have been trading around that range from 250 to 3. I think that's in the cards today. We have volume of 2 million. Possibility this is an all-time record high volume for the stock today. And, I think it makes sense from many perspectives, fundamentals and technicals, for this to have a floor at 250 and maybe a ceiling. I hate to cap a stock, but I'm acknowledging the technicals here at 3, and also the fact that those warrant holders have a $2.90 conversion price, so could be difficult sustaining a price over 3. Okay, but 250. Think of it, percentage wise, this is like $25 to $30. I'll take that trade. I'm in it. All right, I'm not going to tell you exactly what I'm doing, but basically that range, 250 to 3. Yes, that makes sense. All right, so I think that might be something good. And look at that Intel, man. Really wish I kept those $23 shares. God. What are we at now? 23.95, 200 DMA. If you're in it, I would take some off the table at the 200 DMA here, or just short of it before the market opens here in a few minutes.
Someone's asking
23.90.
for our thoughts in the Discord on STAL. I think
I have not. I've heard of it. I have not studied it. That's all I can say. SATL.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I think Undefined Mystic was it who was posting about it yesterday. Volume 2.6 million had a great day yesterday. I can't. I need to learn more about it to have any kind of opinion. Obviously, it looks like a very strong base at 275. So that's good. But in any case, yeah, I can't give my opinion on it without studying, knowing a little bit about the fundamentals. All right, so it's 9:26 a.m. Top picks for the day are going to be AEHR and ACHR and SNES within that range of 250 to 3. So AEHR, ACHR, SNES Intel, we're watching, not a top pick at this price at all. Okay, this is actually, if you were in it, I think you sell up here near $24, and we're just watching it. Oh, Mosaic, I didn't mention. Let's put Mosaic ahead of Intel. Mosaic, this is a company that potash, U.S. production, benefits from Canadian tariffs. Goldman Sachs came in, initiated with a $31 price target today. I don't love this chart. If it gets above the 20 DMA here, 25.11, then maybe it can make a move back towards 26. But with that Goldman Sachs initiation and still some worry out there about tariffs, maybe this one will outperform today. But there's a lot of headline risk. If there's any kind of headline that comes out, some agreement, whatever it is on tariffs, then there's headline risk in Mosaic. So I'm not going to make that a top pick. We'll watch it along with Intel. All right. So top picks today are Air, ACHR, and SNES. All right. We're watching Mosaic, watching Intel for possible entries. And that's it. All right. These other stocks, we're actively trading them the last few days with all the market volatility, but no specific catalyst today that make me want to put any of these stocks in the top 5 down here, including that's Tesla, ASTS, Hood, NBIS, VKTX. A lot of interesting charts here, interesting opportunities for turnarounds, but no strong catalyst on any of these. So they will not be in the top 5. Okay. It's going to be Air, ACHR, SNES. Top 3. Okay. Now with that, it's 9:28 a.m. Actually doing.
Ready, Ben?
I'm ready. I'm having a tough time. I'm doing a little fasting here today, and it's tough to talk without water. I got to interview the CEO at 10 a.m. So, all right, we'll stick around with a little bit of live trading, but we're not going to be too active. Maybe we'll just take questions. This is not a environment where you've been rewarded lately. If you haven't noticed, you've not been rewarded lately for jumping on things at 9:30 a.m. It's more like you've been rewarded for selling at 9:30 a.m. and then buying at 4 p.m. It's been that kind of market. So I'm already in the air. I'm doing nothing at 9:30 a.m. All right, waiting to see if a price target hits. I'm already in ACHR doing nothing at 9:30 a.m. and I'm in SNES for that $250 to $3 range. So right now I'm doing nothing. All right, not doing any active trading. So we have time to take some questions and take it a little bit easy here as we just watch the market at the open right now. And anything else you want to add, Rhett?
No, that's it. I'm just.
I think I will add.
I will say you are right on that, because every single time I've tried to trade right at the open, all those trades have not worked out for me.
It's been tough. All right, so we have Air getting a bid, so that's good. 950 to 990, I believe, is the target. I should probably put in some limit orders and do that yet. I do want to get. I need to get an indice at the top here. Where are my indices? I think, let me see. QQQ. And all right, there we go. We got QQQ at the top now. All right, good. 912. So that's looking good. Let me just see here. We're in at 894 on this air. 950 to 990 is the target. Might need cooperation of the indices. All right. Then ACHR not performing as well. A little pullback in SNES Tech. Let me just look at the support here. 242 pre-market support, 242.38. I think this is gonna bounce. I don't foresee this being red today. So I'm not too worried about this one. I think you're gonna get support after that earnings report. And with this nice pre-market volume, that's just my opinion. So in any case, 238.
I did
See
pick
how that
up
plays out.
some. I did end up picking up some DJT in pre-market. It was a small speculation play. There's a continuation run on that news that came out, so we'll see how that plays out. Currently down a little bit.
Oh, I kept some RCAT overnight. So let's see if we get a pop in RCAT. I'll be selling that. I was hoping for 550 yesterday. Didn't quite get the 550 there on RCAT. Air is performing the best. Was that our number one pick of the day? I believe
Which
so.
one?
AEHR?
Yep.
Yeah. So, all right, the number one pick doing its number one pick thing, outperforming all the rest of the stocks. That's what we like to see. Mosaic trying to get above this 20 DMA with that Goldman Sachs $31 price target. So this can get interesting. 2506 right there. I did not add this yet. Should I add this, man? 2506 with a 31 Goldman Sachs price target and Canadian tariffs in the news. I hesitate to just because of the volatility of the tariff news. But look at it. Now you're clear. Okay. Now I might be interested. Now you have 2506. All right. I don't know that I'm going to pull the trigger on this, but that's a trade idea for you. Okay. 20 DMA, 2506 or 2507 by 2519. Potential here target of 2570 and like another 70 cents possible on Mosaic here this morning. Oh wow. Air is near a 950 target. The first target, the bottom of the target range. So 950. Let me just check these candles. 956, 953. What?
I said, there you go. Good call.
950 to 990 is the target range I put out there. Hit a high of 945. I have not sold yet. Hopefully it gets to my limit price. We'll see. Let's see. There goes Intel. Wow. So I already got a couple of regrets today. Not holding Intel and maybe not trying Mosaic. Mosaic looks nice. RCAT is good. Okay. I'm in this RCAT from yesterday. Let's see. Let's review this price target here. 557. So hopefully get towards 557 today. But I really think you need the market to cooperate for some of these targets to hit. That AHR looks nice. SNES back to 250s. That's beautiful. All right, what do we got? It's 9:34. We have the CEO interview at 10 o'clock. What are we up to here? Oh, hold on. Okay, I did sell. It got close enough to my 950 target that I sold my AEHR. Okay, at 947. You want to put that in the Discord. I'm out at 947 on this, close enough to the bottom of that 950 to 990 range, but the potential still exists here for this to see 990 today. Okay, 990 still in play, but I'm being conservative because it's been a tough market. So I sold right at the bottom of the range at 947. Rhett, can you put that alert in?
Yeah. What is it? Sorry.
I put in the Discord the trade alerts room. The trade alerts room. I think, did I put an alert?
Yeah, air and
AHR. At
Yeah.
894. All right, just put in exit. At 950. It's pretty much you can sell at 950 now. That's the midpoint here of the bid and ask. So that worked out great. Number one pick of the day worked out. AEHR. I might try it again. I might come back in. We'll see, because at 990 is the high target there. All right. Let's see what else is going on. SNES trying to hold that 250. Mosaic still didn't do that. And man, look at Intel. Intel broke that 200 DMA. Now I'm really regretting not holding on to my $23 shares last night. Now you broke that. Look at this. You got resistance here at 24.44. There's a 24.30 right now. This RSI is still not overbought. Too bad, so sad. Oh man, when I say it's the most powerful catalyst a company can have, maybe I ought to listen to myself. But it's just a tough market right now. Tough to have a conviction, really.
Market's
VKTX has been pretty nice, man. Last couple of days. Market's pulling back.
Mhm.
I'm wondering, should I take my profits in RCAT here if the markets are pulling back? RCAT 496. I'm gonna take a scalp profit here in RCAT. Just 10 cents a share. Oh, 11, 12 cents a share. What is that? Actually, 496, 10 cents a share. My profit in RCAT here at 505 in from 496. But this is another one. I think 550 is in the cards, but I don't like this QQQ business here that I'm looking at the top of my screen. That's why I was quick to take the profits here on RCAT. Oh my gosh! I sold $29 call. I closed out. I had $29 calls on VKTX that I sold yesterday, expiring this week. I got a 30. The VKTX. Oh, that thing is so strong. VKTX could see $32. I have to get back in on this strength. VKTX. All right, I'm just going to do common shares. It's been very difficult for me to trade options lately. Just too emotionally charged with the market
Ross had a
volatility.
great trade today on Intel.
Who did?
Ross.
Oh, nice. All right, so I'm moving VKTX up here to monitor. You got this resistance at 30.56, and if you break 30.56, that's a clear shot to 32.70 to 50 DMA. So just got into some common shares. Definitely regretting selling my options yesterday, but it's just, can you blame me? It's it's a tough market to hold on to options. This market is crazy. So anyway, there we go. I prematurely sold my RCAT as we watch it now go to my 550 target. Oh, come on. Why can QQQ be better? Let me just check the other indices here for a second.
If you get back above
SPY, QQQ. Well, IWM is green, so maybe that's helping out. Wow. Gold has been on fire. Wow. Holy shoot. Look at gold. Gold wants to break out to all-time new highs. Oh my gosh. 272. That is, and the RSI is not at the highs. Wow, gold is on its way to breaking out. How did I miss that? All right. There goes Mosaic on Goldman Sachs. Man, a lot of things. I leaving some money on the table here with RCAT and Intel. I need to get gold at the top of my list somehow. What am I going to delete? Let's go down below. What can we delete? HII. This is shipbuilding. I don't need HII. All right. So let me delete HII. And then I can add GLD to the top of my list here. Add top. There we go. Top. There's GLD and QQQ. Okay. Had a nice trade in AEHR, but Oh, look at Mosaic go now. And look, I left a lot of money on the table on Arcat. Ah, oh my gosh. Oh, look at that. Is Arcat headed to my 550 now? Probably. Yesterday's high was 532. So Arcat could be headed to that 550. Look at Mosaic. Oh, I didn't play Mosaic. Well, I gave you the idea, right? Gave you the trade idea over the 20
Yeah.
EMA. 25, I can't be everywhere. I can give you lots of ideas and you can decide which ones you want to take. So 25.77, that's the target on Mosaic. VKTX, man, I wish I didn't sell those call options. 30.56. There you go. 30.56. I think this thing's headed to $32 if you break that. So at least I'm in this right now. The volume here. It's just tough with the indice situation to stay in an individual stock for long periods of time with conviction. It's very hard.
I added some Q calls. Trying to get a quick bounce. See.
It looks like, I mean, how can gold not break 272.32?
There we go.
It's
That
going
was a
to.
nice pickup.
Gold is going to break that all-time high. It's just too close not to. It's a magnet. Wow, look at that.
Let's go.
There. So nice job on QQQ. That'll help our ACHR.
Yeah.
Oh, I left a lot of money on the table in Arcat. Damn it. ACTS with a little spike, trying to do red to green. Hood has been a massive disappointment. Massive. $9:43 a.m. Got a 15 minutes to that CEO interview. Look at gold. Oh my god, look at this volatility in QQQ. Good for I can't trade QQQ for my life. If you could do it, like kudos. Look at Mosaic. Oh damn. Oh, I should have done Mosaic. Look at it. It's gonna go to 25.78. It's going there. Brett, should I chase it here at 25.45 for another 30 cents?
Could.
I just hate it when I make a prediction and I don't participate. It's so annoying. It's like one of the most annoying things that exists. All right, but it's just hard to. I can talk about 100 things, right? But I only have two hands. Can't get to everything. Jeez. All right. Anyway, we nailed air. What am I complaining about? Got a nice. Wow, that was a beautiful trade in air. Made a few $1,000 on that actually. All right. Let's see. Wow, look at that dropping QQQ. Ooh, that's not good. Pre-market. It just broke the pre-market. 313. No, we have 4:50 Alpha TM. 4 a.m. was all the way down here. 47.23. Wow, this thing was low at what time was this? 4 a.m. What the heck happened at 4:30 a.m.? The gold is headed right to that new all-time high. That's beautiful. It's going to break it because the RSI is not as overbought as it was before. So you're going to break 272.32 on gold, I believe. Air solid. It really looks like Air at this point. I think it's going to get to 990, but not necessarily today. It could definitely get there today, but I just worry about this. What's going on with the market? But just looking at this chart here, what is this top of the candle? 956. Did we break 956? No. We got resisted at 957. So if you break 957, I think that's a magnet, 990. So 990 is the next target on Air if you break 957. As I said, currently not in. I sold at 947. RCAT is where I really left. Man, that was like 14 cents I left on the table, and I had a lot of shares too. This is beautiful. Let me check the drone stocks for a second because there's been some action in there recently. UMAC is looking good. Oh my God, UMAC, perfect bounce off the 200 DMA. Holy crap! Look at that. Wow. Man, I gotta say these charts are very attractive. UMAC and RCAT. UMAC and RCAT are very attractive.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Oh
The
man,
next pick up 5.
honestly, I'm thinking about getting back into RCAT. I think I will. I'm getting back into RCAT. But I'm gonna do it with much smaller size than what I was in. Because when I chase higher, I do smaller size, and maybe it'll come back, and then I can do bigger size. We'll see. All right, so Air is looking good. ACHR hanging in there. SNES Tech not so good. Only up 2% now. Definitely a little bit surprised that we didn't hold that 250. The volume has really died down pre-market, and then they decided to not play anymore at 9:30 a.m. That's a little bit odd. If that volume comes back, I think we'll reclaim 250. So that's SNES Tech. Intel pulling back. Let's see what we got going on underneath here now. Oh my God, Hood has been a freaking disaster. I just totally got Hood wrong. That was probably my worst prediction of the year. Has been Hood over the last week or so. Okay, let's see. Fubo. Celsius looking good. I added that to increased my position in my retirement account a few days ago. After that acquisition. What else we got going on here? A lot of nothing and a lot of bad charts underneath here, man. Wow. This does not look like a multi-day move to the 200 DMA on the QQQ, right? Look at this disaster underneath. These charts are terrible. Holy crap. All right. Yeah, let's just focus on good charts. All right, jeez. That was not fun. You know what? I think I might. This is looking tired. I think I might bail on ACHR. Have a small profit in at 759. It says. So I'm gonna bail on ACHR. I only got a 4 cent per share profit now. 763. This market is difficult. So Air was a big winner of the day. Can't complain about that. It's 9:50 a.m. Got 10 minutes to the interview, the SNES Tech interview. 235 now has not held those gains. We'll see. We'll see if we get some good info from the CEO here at 10 o'clock to reverse that or not. We'll see what he says. All right. What else we got going on here? Rhett, you there?
Yeah, I was muted. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, these charts underneath. When I say underneath, I mean like underneath my watch list, below the top 5. They're just terrible. Really
Yeah,
bad
they're not.
charts. QQQ is melting down now. Let me see.
Look at Bitcoin.
And that's not helping Hood. So let's see. VIX is red though for the day. Wow. Let's see what we got here. All right, so we're out of air. We're out of ACHR. We're in SNES Tech. I got that position in Viking Therapeutics, VKTX, which I'm not selling yet. Oh, RCAT came back down. Okay, that's something I might, like I said. Okay, so I entered with a smaller position up there. I'm gonna monitor this, see if we can, if I can get it at 5 or below. I think that's when I'll add more. Let's move SNES Tech to the top because that interview is about to come up. Nice escape on ACHR. What is going on? QQQ keeps hitting lows. Damn it. This market blows. Let's check the daily on QQQ. Oh, not fun. 467. It's not far from 467. Let's go to SPY. 552. We're at 556. Oh, that markets can break down in a matter of seconds. I mean, that's a nothing move to get back to the lows on SPY and QQQ. So things are not looking great right now. And thank God for that nice air trade. Needed that on a day like today. Ooh. Man. All right. RCAT back to 503. It's tough. It's tough to do this when you see QQQ breaking down. It is really tough to take these trades. $504. Oh my gosh, this is a tough market, man, because it's the indice that is the overwhelming factor in how individual stocks are doing, and that's usually not the case, guys. And when that happens, it makes it really, really hard to trade. RCAT 501, but look at this QQQ. Like I want RCAT, I do want RCAT at 5. I want it, but if QQQ keeps dropping, there's no telling how low any individual stock can go. That's the problem. Now we're at 5 on RCAT. AHR down to 919. Wow, on a light PPI and a light CPI, I wouldn't have guessed this. I'll tell you.
Good.
I would not have guessed. I thought we'd bounce off. Have a little better bounce here yesterday and today in the indices. All right, I'm going to take a little bit of risk here and add a little bit more RCAT at $5. Not big size. I can't do big size right now with the way the Nasdaq is moving. So just added a little bit more RCAT here at 501. Wow, what a nice escape job on ACHR. Nice escape job on AEHR. So we did those well. This market blows. Holy crap. Let's look at the macro. UVXY back into the green. You know, I had UVXY hedge this morning for PPI. PPI came in light and I sold my hedge. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, what are you supposed to do? How do you trade this market? This is insane. At this point, you got to say there is a pretty decent chance we get new lows here in SPY and QQQ, despite the oversold conditions we're in. Wow. Not fun, guys. Not fun. And the thing that's least fun for me is Hood, because I got this one so wrong the last few days, and not fun. All right. ASCS, by the way, I think at this point is heading to 25. The 50 DMA. 25, 30. Okay, so you got to wait. You feel like that's stock. I think you got to wait. Wow, market looks like it's melting down. This is insane. QQQ heading back to the lows. Holy crap, every single day. This is ridiculous. All right, let's check out TLT at least. No, TLT doesn't even work as a hedge. Nothing works as a hedge. You just got to be short the market. Gold has been solid as a hedge. Wow, not fun. Look at all these alerts I'm getting. Non-stop alerts of new lows. My computer's freaking out. I don't know if you hear those. Do you hear those? I don't think I'm sharing my audio. I'm getting all these alerts. Here it is. Bottom right of the screen. It's every time a stock hits a new low, and they're like coming in fast and furious right now. That's not fun. Looks like QQQ is heading to the lows. Oh, my Lord. Oh, once again. Thank God I sold that ACHR. The RCAT I just picked up at 5 is not working. Wow. I gotta say, I still think my macro view is right, and I just don't. Okay, now I'm starting to get it. Well, look, TLT has been moving as a kind of a flight to safety. That's how it's been working. It has not been moving on interest rate expectations lately. Because if it were, TLT would be back up here above $91, $92. If people were, because interest rates are going to come down here, guys, with recessionary concerns, with CPI light, with PPI light, with impact of Doge. I'm very convicted on this, and just disappointed that TLT has not been acting as a good hedge, and it's just acting as a flight to safety. Every time equities crash, that's when money starts rotating the bonds. I think it should react to light CPI, light PPI, and the Doge spending cuts. So, and I guess that's because most people are not yet agreeing with me about tariffs versus Doge. All right. Most people are concerned about inflationary impact of tariffs, which will make it difficult for the Fed to do its job. I totally disagree with that, as I said this morning. But I guess I'm a minority on that. I think I'm early on it. I think I'm right. I think I'm just early. So we'll see. Anyway, in this little mini crisis, we got to take a pause here and get our interview started with CEO of SNES. Let's change the banners up here. CEO interview. Joel. Oh, his name is up there, so we'll just put that. All right, so we're going to put this banner over here so people know who we're going to be talking about. And we're going to hit the Rhett, if you could, I'm going to take you off stage for this interview. Yeah, if you can hit just put a tweet out there, let people know the CEO interview is starting in 30 seconds.
Sounds good. We don't have any banner happening right now, though.
Oh, did I remove the banner? There's a banner. Oh, wait, what? Okay, there's the banner, and here's our countdown. Hello, welcome back, Joel Fruint, CEO of SNES. How are you doing this morning?
We're doing great this morning, Ben. How about you?
Well, trying to hang in there. This market is absolutely insane. But in
Yeah,
any case, so glad to have you back here. Ticker symbols SNES. I interviewed you here back, I believe, on February 4th, a little over a month ago. It was a beautiful interview. Learned a lot about your company. You had earnings here last night, and it looked like a very interesting, impressive report. Record revenue growth, strategic expansion, quarterly revenue increased 70%. One of the most interesting things, I'm going to recap this quarter, this press release here for everyone, Joel, and then tell me if I got anything wrong, okay? So one of the most impressive things I got from this is the reduction of the cash flow break even to a little over $1.5 million a quarter. And that means you only need to increase your revenue by $1 million a quarter to get the cash flow break even. That was the biggest takeaway for me from yesterday's press release. Do I have that right, Joel?
right. So what we've done is we've done some good work on lowering our costs, lowering our operating expenses, and but what we took a look at is like, okay, are there certain things that we can put on hold to really focus on our real flagship product now, which is Evolve, which is a soft bait for the reduction in reproduction of rats and mice. And we took a look at that, how we could realign some things. So we think that we've gotten to a point now with a reduction in the burn rate from $1.5 million a quarter to $1 million, that the break even is getting us up to about $6.5 to $7 million in revenue. And we think that's very doable in 2026.
2026. Well, that's what I wanted to ask you. 2026. So it's 2025 here. Are we at a point yet? We have this 500,000 in revenue. Is there, is there lumpiness still in those revenue numbers? I'm trying to assess like how much of that 500,000 is from the e-commerce, which I'm assuming will kind of be more steady growth and more predictable growth. Are we there yet? Is this like a base level 500,000 where we can see kind of sequential growth throughout the year, or is that, or can we expect some lumpiness until some more steady growth kicks in?
Well, we think that there's certainly some growth in the quarters coming up this year, simply because of the work that we were able to do in 2024 with expanding into some of the different marketplaces. Certainly, our e-commerce strategy is starting to take hold. We're starting to see sales build on Amazon. We're on Walmart.com, Tractor Supply. So when you start looking at each of the channels that we're in, the work that we've been doing in 2024 is starting to pay off this quarter and will continue to pay off in the future quarters for 2025.
So help me understand, because I don't know, maybe perspective, I'm hearing a lot of great things about Evolve. We're getting great testimonials. We're seeing farmers using it and getting rid of their rats in like 6 weeks or something. I'm hearing about traction online, and online tell me where the big box retailers that you're on online right now.
So we've been on Walmart.com for about 60 days now.
Okay.
And we got on Tractor Supply literally just a few weeks ago. We've got it finalized. Whenever there's the startup, you have the technical issues that you have to work through. And then we're on DIY Pest Control, which is the largest pest control e-commerce site for do-it-yourselfers.
Okay.
So what we're
So Walmart, Tractor Supply, DIY Pest Control. Someone in the chat here is asking if you're still talking to Costco.
Yes, we had a meeting with them within the last month, and are working on some things for them that may certainly pay off in the future.
Okay. And also on the conference call yesterday, Ace Hardware was mentioned. Is that online or is that in the stores?
Well, that's in the stores, and it's interesting is that twice a year they have their marketplace for all their vendors to come and set up your booths, and they have all their store owners in, and it's like a 5-day extravaganza. And so this was our second one. We've had great success on this one compared to the initial market that we went to. We picked up a lot of new orders, a lot of new customers, and we're on our way to working to get ourselves into their shipping warehouses.
So Ace Hardware, is it national distribution or just certain regions it's being tested out in?
Yeah, it's national, and it's
National.
available for drop shipment to all the different locations. And we had some real interest in some actual orders from the owners that have 4 stores or 6 stores or 12 stores, and they came up to our booth, and we actually, it's a buying show, so we actually got orders. We got a number of them that we have to follow up with to get our point of purchase displays into their stores.
So if I go to my local Ace Hardware, is it stocked on the shelf, or I have to ask them to order it, or how's that work?
Well, we have some that are, certainly with over 5,500 stores in the United States. We're not in all of them yet. And in fact, we're only in a small fraction of them, which gives us tremendous upside there.
Okay, got it. All right, so I'm trying to understand when you're saying, you can increase your sales by $1.25 million by 2026. You just recently, I mean, this is all very new. Walmart and Tractor Supply just in the last, few weeks, really. And then you're talking to Costco, and based on the word of mouth I'm hearing about the effectiveness of this product, isn't there the potential to see a much faster kind of hockey stick growth in your sales through the, e-commerce or retail channels this year?
Yeah, absolutely. And we have, laid out our plans for this year, and we have e-commerce growing at a substantial rate, along with in the retail side. We really feel like we're going to make some big strides in getting into a lot of the stores that are out there, the Ace Hardwares, and we think we'll get into Tractor Supply, and the big one too is Walmart. So they want to see how it's going on the e-commerce site, and then start to transition some stores, some brick and mortar stores in.
Okay. Is there any data you can point to, or that you have yet from the Walmart and Tractor Supply here in the first several weeks that you're there? Any data that can give you any kind of confidence in, I don't know, this quarter, in Q1 or Q2, can we look forward to some sequential revenue growth here in Q1 or Q2?
We can. I look at it like, we started out with Amazon. Really, we didn't get things going on Amazon till July of last year. And, now we started out with some small orders, but it kept growing. And now we're looking at, $40,000 to $50,000 in sales on Amazon per month. So we feel like there's certainly that potential with Walmart and with Tractor Supply and some of the others that we're looking to align with.
Oh, that's like 25% of your sales is just from Amazon. Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm just trying to understand, when you say 2026, what is the upside, or what are the chances, or what are the events that could happen this year that is there a chance we can get the cash flow break even in the next few quarters? Is kind of where I'm getting at, because again, I look at this and I see the traction the product has and the word of mouth it's starting to get. And if you're just getting into Walmart and Tractor Supply, and you're growing in Ace Hardware, and you might get into Costco, to me, like $1 million a quarter is like not a lot. It doesn't seem like a big, huge, goal to get to. So,
right.
You're telling me 2026. What is that based on? Is that like just a lot of conservatism there? What are you basing?
Well, if you look at
not really
2024, we were averaging right under $500,000 a quarter, right? So $500,000 a quarter. And what we do believe is that for 2026, we can be up near that $1 million per quarter. And then the following year in 2026 is be able to, accelerate that as well to get up to that $7 million. Mm-hmm. So when you start doing the math on it, it's like, okay, we've got really good growth this year. But to get to that $7 million, it looks like it's going to be sometime in 2026.
Okay. All right. We'll see. I got higher hopes for you. Maybe you'll be surprised. Maybe we'll get some virality in the farmers talking to each other and how this
Yeah.
product.
Well, I
Bugs.
think you look at with like agriculture, and there's some huge opportunities there with grain management. Of course, we've heard a lot about egg production and poultry production and the avian flu. So we think we have a really good option there, since it's been determined, they just found out that rats can carry the avian flu.
Yeah. Okay. So there's that. Also, my colleague here at Story Trading, Rhett, he knows someone who just deployed it, like in their farm a few days ago, because of story trading, because of the awareness that was raised over here. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, as far as I know, let's just confirm. You don't have any competition in this space, right? Fertility control. I think you're the only one that does this, right?
Right, we're the only one that focus on limiting the reproductive side of the
Yeah.
equation. There's a lot of companies out there that have lethals for the the killing side of it, things like poisons, traps, glue boards, all of those types of things. But we're really the only ones that focus on the reproductive side, simply because the reproductive side is so great. I think I told you last time, 2 rats can become 15,000 in 1 year. They live to be about a year. They have 6 to 8 litters during the time that they're alive, and they have 6 to 10 pups per litter. So it doesn't take much to calculate that out and say they are reproducing faster than you can kill them. And that's why we're getting some interest now from New York City, and our products being deployed in Baltimore. We just got a couple of nice orders for some of the neighborhoods within Chicago. So they're starting to realize that in an integrated pest management program, if you try to kill, get rid of them that way, you can't keep up with the birth rate. So we're saying put this in as part of your program to really limit the reproductive side. And once that happens, then your other side, the lethal side, will work that much better, because 10 are easier to kill than 100 easier to kill than 1,000.
So that Chicago, someone in our Discord astutely heard that. I think that was the first time they heard about Chicago last night, because it was New York City and Baltimore before, right? Chicago's new.
It is new, and it's something that once again in 2024 we were working on. We were supplying the data. Being a regulated product, you just can't really go out there and sell. You got to get the approvals from the states, the approvals from the counties, the cities. Of course, the EPA is involved. So we were really pleased when we got the orders for these neighborhoods that are taking it into their own hands to say, okay, we need to have something that really restricts the reproduction here to keep the population down, so then we can be more effective with our what would be the mainstay pest control.
Okay, so Chicago's new. Also, someone, I think they heard that New York City, in the prior conference call, you mentioned like 1 10 city block area, but did you guys mention that now there's 2 of them instead of just 1 10 block area?
So in the documents that they sent out when they were going to do this, and there's 2 10 block areas that they're designating. We still have to see what the distribution of the product in those 10 block areas are, but we certainly have the go ahead. They're going to start the program on April 27th. We're going to be shipping product there prior to that, and then certainly we'll be out there in the field assisting them with the placement of the bait stations, and looking at, okay, where can you get the best areas so that the rats there know it's there. And they'll know it's there because we tested this product in the middle of sugarcane fields, and they love sugar, and they came in and they really ate up our product very quickly and continue to do so. We're having 100% consumption in this long-term field trial that we're doing with one of the major sugar companies.
Okay. And also new to me, last night, you were describing the pilot program for New York City and saying that it could expand over time. So it's not like an all or nothing thing, right? It's not like, all right, you're doing this test in this 110 block area, and then after 1 year, you either find out you get a big contract or you get nothing. It looks like this is something that if it's successful, they'll just test more and more areas, and your revenue would increase while that test is expanding. The pilot testing, is that right? Pilot.
Well, that's exactly right, and that's actually how we're proceeding on this. Working with the City of New York, we want to do the best support job that we can to get them what they want, what they need, so they can see the efficacy of the product, the palatability, the consumption. That's the first thing, get them to consume it. We're very confident in that because the study I mentioned with the sugar company, we have one ongoing with University of California at Irvine, and they're getting 100% consumption over the first 6 months. And now they're starting to see the consumption go down, which is a great thing because when the consumption goes down, that means your population is going down.
Give me an idea. If this was deployed in New York City, I guess citywide or whatever the max is that you know what they're more than me, like what the max is that they're considering. If everything's okay and they say, okay, we're going to deploy this wherever the max that they've indicated to you, what does that mean for your company revenue wise?
Well, it could be very, very substantial. I mean, if you look at how many city blocks are there in New York City? In New York City, with the 5 boroughs, there's about 100, according to ChatGPT, 120,000 city blocks. And if you just say you put 5 bait stations in each city block, you're looking at the consumption of that over the course of a year. That's very, very substantial. And
what is that? Can you spell it out for me? That's 600,000 bait stations. So what kind of revenue would that bring for you?
Well, if you do the math on it and you say, okay, each bait station is going to be $100 per year in product, then you can do the math on that. And it might be much more. Once again, it all depends on consumption, right? How fast they're consuming the product.
60 million a year.
Well, and that's not suggesting that they're going to do it in all of the city blocks. I get it. You can just see how this could expand, because what they're doing right now with lethal methods is, in the areas that they're trying to control, that's what they're doing, and that's what they're.
So what about the subways? That's where I've seen rats. I've seen them in the subways. They're gross.
Well, that's where a lot of people see it, because that's where they're traveling to and from, and they see the one hauling the piece of pizza up the stairs, and I mean, just the videos are incredible. But that will all be part of this as well. I think New York is doing it the right way. They looked at it and said, okay, we got to try something different. And that's when the city councilmen got together, voted this through their contraception program. And we're really anxious to get it started in April.
So if this is fertility control, in terms of, I mean, would they need to continually put this out? Or would they have to would they decrease the amount of product needed year after year because it's so effective? Like, how's that work for you guys?
Yeah, so as I mentioned with the UC California Irvine study, after 6 months, they're starting to see consumption go down. That doesn't mean that the rats don't like it anymore. That means there's less rats eating, which is what you want.
How does that impact your revenue, though, in terms of recurring revenue? How's it? Let's say New York deploys it, everywhere. Is it like after 2 or 3 years they don't need you guys anymore, or what? Well, what's the tail of this in terms of recurring revenue?
No, it's definitely a recurring revenue story, and it may vary. It may go up to a certain level and then come down some, but you're going to need to keep the reproductive side, the reproductive reduction out there, because when it works and the population's coming down, why would you want to stop putting it out there? And I don't think we're ever going to get to a point where we totally eradicate rats. They're smart animals. But we can certainly add to that possibility with reproductive reduction.
So when is the earliest that you think we can see big orders from New York, Baltimore, Chicago? When is the earliest that could happen?
Well, we've gotten orders to start, right?
Right.
And
No,
so
meaning like big order, meaning like, hey, we want to do this citywide. Like, when's the earliest that decision will be made by these cities?
well, I think that one of the things that is really good for us, and yet it's a curse on the short term, is that in this day and age, everyone wants to see instant results, and ours will take 4 to 6 weeks to get going, to get the limiting the reproductive capacity started, and after that, I think that when you're looking at in the first 6 months, is you're going to see a substantial. Our test data shows that after only one breeding round, you can see a 61% reduction in the amount of pups that are being born. But give it 6 months, and once you start to see the real reduction in the population, that's when you're going to see it expand to other areas. Because I know
So
it
is there? We're talking about, okay, New York City starting in middle or late
late
April.
April. Yeah,
Did Baltimore already start
yeah, in a relatively small area, so they've
in a
started.
small area? How
Yep.
about Chicago? When is Chicago starting?
Yeah, they're starting it with a couple of neighborhoods that are in the northwest side of the city, and they're going to start
Okay.
doing a number of blocks and putting out a product in the bait stations that are
Okay.
there, and they should start seeing some good results in 3 to 4 months.
Got it. So is there not the possibility that before the year's out, we could see some big announcements from any of these cities in the calendar year 2025?
Well, absolutely, and the great thing about it too is others are watching. So we've had a number of inquiries from other municipalities and other cities, some that are near New York City, others that are very far away from New York City because of this program that they're going to start doing. And they're interested in watching the results. And some are saying, okay, well, we want to start doing it ourselves as well. And I think that's what you saw with the Chicago orders.
Okay. All right. So now going back, right, to, because I'm totally laser focused on your cash position and your goal to get to cash flow profitability. And every retail investor out there, their hope and their dream and their desire is that you get to cash flow profitability without any further significant dilution. So that's not what you're guiding for yet, right? You're saying 2026, but it seems to me there is that possibility. If we get some growth in the e-commerce side here the next few months, and then you get some big orders towards the the end of this year, isn't there the possibility you can get to that cash flow break even in 2025, the fourth quarter of 2025 rather than 2026?
Absolutely, Ben, and certainly that is what we're striving for. And when you look at our 6 different channels, it's okay. On the municipal side, in pest control, if someone like New York City really has great success with the product, wants to deploy it into multiple other areas, there's a big revenue spike. If someone like a Costco or somebody like a Walmart who we're talking to decides, you know what, we want to put that in 1,000 of our stores. Ace Hardware says we want to put it in all of our distribution centers. There are those very real opportunities where we're going to see a huge spike in revenue.
So basically, your 2026 forecast that you're saying is really, it's not based on optionality, things that can happen this year. It's based on just the historical growth of the Amazon business growing. That's what you're basing that 2026 1.5 million per quarter revenue on, right?
Well, we're basing it on growth in all of our different channels, and I think that you look at each of these; they all have tremendous opportunities for large growth. And right now we're trying to say, okay, how do we forecast for that? How do we make sure that we're maximizing, what we're doing in each of those channels to get revenue growth as soon as we possibly can? But in each of those, if a large poultry producer like Tyson Chicken decides, okay, this is a product we want to use in our 440 different
Right.
locations, that's a huge revenue spike. New York City,
All right.
huge revenue spike.
I think I got it. I think I got
Yep.
it. Just to be 100% clear, when you're saying we think we can get to that cash flow break even in 2026, that's excluding any of these things that we just talked about that might. You just described a number of different scenarios that could be a big spike in revenue. That's excluding any of those possibilities.
Absolutely. That's
Okay.
what I'm saying. It's a conservative to say, okay, if our business
Got it.
grows sequentially like we think across the board, we'll
Yeah.
get there in 2026. One of these spikes, a huge order from a retailer or a grain management company or a municipality,
Got
will
it.
get there a lot sooner. Or a
Got it.
pest control
That's
company, Rent-A-Kill, Orkin. I mean,
got it.
we're doing some things with them, and certainly the pest control side is where we started this. But the good thing is that we have multiple markets, and I haven't even mentioned international yet. I mean, some of the orders that are potential in international, when we get the approval in the country, and they're container loads of product. So
I
we're
got
well on our way there.
Joel, we got to it. Now everyone gets it. You can see in the stock price right now. People are buying your stock right now. That's what we just wanted to understand, that guidance is not based on any of these optionality events that could happen this year. That's just based on the regular cadence of growth that you've been having. So you made that clear, and retail loves this story. They're buying the stock because they believe that you're going to have some of those optionality events happen this year. And I think they have a high chance of that happening just because of what I'm seeing in terms of the reviews of this product are absolutely amazing. And to think that you have a product with great reviews and this gigantic total addressable market and just a market cap of a few million, this makes it a very compelling investment opportunity for folks. So I'm glad we got to the bottom of that. But let me just clear up one thing to make sure to put a bow tie on this, because someone asked us in our Discord, what kind of patent protection do you have, if any, on this product? You're the only one doing this with fertility control. How are you protected that competition won't come in and take your business away?
Well, we do have a couple of 2 patent pendings on it. So we have that side of it. Our big focus has always been first to market, get entrenched, get the product out there and being used. And so we'll have that first market penetration advantage. And, the rodenticide market worldwide is about $5 billion, about $1 billion in the US alone. So we're very focused on, okay, how can we get first some initial market share, meaningful market share, and then how do we grow that?
Okay, but sorry, maybe I missed it. Do you have patent protection for
We do,
your
but
product?
they're patent pendings.
Okay, they're patent pendings. Okay, so when were those filed, or when
Last March, I believe. So it's coming up in a year this month.
Oh, this is for Evolve.
Yes, Evolve for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
because that's a new product. Okay, that's right. That's
Yeah.
a new product.
And with ContraPest, which we still sell, and there's a lot of customers who still like using the liquid product. Certainly, we have patent protection on that product.
Right. Okay. All right. Great. I think I got all those questions answered. Let me see. Is there anything else? Yeah, I got everything on my list. Is there anything else you want to add?
Well, I still go back to it. It's like, last year, just introducing the product in January of 2024, even though we did have some sales at the end of 2023 on a soft launch, and having to get, being a minimum risk product as designated by the EPA 25B exemption, and then having to get the state approvals, and then internationally having to get country approvals. A regulated product, that takes a while. So I'm really confident that all the legwork that we put in last year and being out in the field with people like New York City and with some of the ag companies and pest control companies, that's really going to pay off for us as we go forward in 2025 and certainly in the future beyond that.
All right. Thank you, Joel. It's been great catching up with you. We'll be watching the news feed, looking for some exciting news. And when is your next, the quarter's almost over, right? March 3rd. So when's your next earnings report, by the way?
Our earnings report will be sometime around between May 1st and May 10th.
Okay, not too long. 2 months. We'll be back here in 2 months talking
Good.
about your progress. All right, thank you so much, Joel. Everyone else, hang on here. We're gonna reset the show, do a little bit more live trading. Thank you, Joel.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yep. Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. That was a CEO interview with SNES, SNES. It's just amazing to watch the stock reacting throughout the interview. I mean, this is basically the whole premise of story trading is that there's a reason behind the price action, right? Sometimes it's hard to understand that reason. Sometimes it's stuff beyond your pay grade. But, it was so clear to watch, what the market was reacting to here. Even the first half of the interview, I remember there were a few things that I wasn't so thrilled about, and I was a little down. Brett, do you remember that? And the second half of the interview, I nailed them on the question I wanted answered, and I heard what I wanted, and it looks like everyone else did also. It's just amazing, because that is the premise of story trading: is that there's a reason for the current price, and there's a reason why stocks go up and down, an understandable, identifiable, logical reason, right? So sometimes you don't have all the variables there to understand the tick by tick, like in a QQQ, right? You need access to so much data to understand. You need to be in the heads of every single hedge fund and every single algo to understand the tick by tick moves in QQQ. But on a stock like SNES, you can definitely correlate those two things, and it's kind of like a proof to the point that we believe in at story trading is that there's a reason behind the trade. Markets are efficient. When we say efficient, we don't mean compared to its full fundamental fair value. We mean in terms of the market is reflecting the net opinion of all market participants, right? As long as everyone has access to a computer and everyone's internet is working and, your brokers allow you to trade how you want to trade, that's an efficient market. The price is reflective of everyone's net opinion. So that's how we define efficient markets. And the benefit of that is when you understand and you appreciate that the market and today's price is a reflection of everyone's opinions. When you understand that, you can make predictions of where a price will go in the near future in a very rapid way. When a catalyst comes out, if you understand why is SNES trading at 244, if you understand that and you understand all the elements that go into why it's trading at 244, when a catalyst comes out, you can interpret the impact of that catalyst on sentiment, interpret the impact of the catalyst on fundamentals, look at the technicals, and make a prediction for a rapid re-rating in the stock. That's what we do at story trading, and we do it extremely, extremely successfully, except in periods of, complete market liquidations, which make your job a little bit harder. Rhett, what do you think of that interview?
I think it went really well, Ben. I mean, I'm excited to see what the product holds for us and see how the results come out because those things are a nuisance and can't wait to get rid of them.
Right. So that was the example I was giving. Rhett, you have a friend or someone using that, right, on their farm because they heard of it here at Story Trading. So
Exactly.
that's gonna be interesting. Definitely keep us abreast of how that product works. We've heard good reviews on social media and from other people, so I'm guessing it's going to work well for you. Looking forward to hearing the results on that. All right, so that is SNES. While we're gone, gold did hit a new all-time high there. At least GLD, the ETF, did. I'm pretty sure gold did as well, not just the ETF. So that's looking good. Sadly, I didn't play it, even though I predicted it. Let's see what's happening.
User on
QQQ
a roller
stabilizing.
coaster.
QQQ roller coaster, but stabilizing a little bit here. Hopefully, air. We got out of that at 947. That was beautiful. Wow, wasn't it?
Yeah.
If the markets were better, if the markets were more stable, I would step back into air at $9 over here. ACHR back to 765. I did get out of that at 765. RCAP bouncing back. I picked some up recently, didn't I? Maybe I'll take a scalp win on that. What did I pick it up at? $5. Oh, but in 520. I only picked up 1,000 shares of $5, so it's $100 for me here. All right, I'll make $100 by selling 1,000 shares of 510. I should have been more aggressive. It's hard to be aggressive in this market. All right, so there we go. Made $100 scalp on RCAT. VKTX not working out for me. I bought up there on the break. I thought we broke at 30.26 levels where I bought, something like that. and I was looking for 32. So currently that is not working out for me, and that's about it as far as activities for today. Now, some of the things I'm swinging getting killed, like ASTS. I'm still swinging that. Coming to 25. I'm still in some hood, unfortunately. So yeah, some of this other stuff. I think I swung a little NBIS overnight, which is not working out. Like swings suck in this market. Right, you're doing it right in this market. You're like 100% cash each day. You can see in our day trades today, they were pretty successful. It's the swinging, which is just not working in this environment. I mean, this is an environment where you want to be like 100% cash in, I guess. Ecor, good. We had the right read on the Ecor earnings, and we avoided that last night. I know this is a popular in some communities. And yes, I was not impressed by that Ecor, and we didn't buy that. I'm curious how this other BBW. Okay, look, I'm surprised at this one actually. BBW holding its gains. It was a nice beat on the top and bottom, but I didn't like the guidance, especially the qualitative comments around the guidance. I didn't like it. So in this market environment, I avoided it. People like it. Good for them. All right. That's all I got, I think. Look at this gold. Shoot, right?
You should have added to that when you were talking. Said it
I
was
know.
all-time highs.
I did say that. Oh man, is it too? This is my. I gotta work on my. I gotta work on my execution, guys. I'm like I make predictions, but I don't act sometimes until after I see validation. Not good. That's not the way to do it. But man, I mean, this is an all-time high breakout. You got to think it'll continue for a bit. Yeah, I'm just gonna get a few. What is this? Monday expiration. Very little, because just so I can be part of it. 273 call options for Monday. A few $100. I'm not going to make a lot of money. I'm not going to lose a lot of money, but I feel like I got to be part of it. Because how can you not predict a continuation, an all-time high breakout with this RSI not yet overbought and a lot of geopolitical turmoil? So I was looking at this a few days ago. Didn't pull the trigger. All right, Rhett. I think that's it. Fundamental Trader on YouTube has sworn by Ecor. What does this say? Fundamental Trader on YouTube who has sworn by Ecor, but earnings was less than desirable. Yeah. Okay. I didn't like the earnings either. I just did not see what was so impressive about them. I think that's all we got right now. The only thing that's like at an all-time new high is gold. All right. That's it. All right. Thanks everyone for watching. Got a big audience here. If you want to join our Discord, head on over. Is there a discount code we can give folks?
Yes, I'll put it up right now. Just right there. So they can use code GROW for 15% off recurring, and they can go to storytrading.com/Discord.
15% off, and you get that discount off each and every single month as long as you're with us. So hope to see you soon at storytrading.com/Discord. Thank you very much, everyone.
Take care.
Bye-bye.